Hi, everyone. It's Melissa Anger. Thank you guys for joining us tonight for the 2019 Soccer State Tournament pre-competition webinar. We're going to get through this pretty quickly. I don't want to take up too much of your time. So again, thank you for joining us, and let's get started. So going over a few things, we're going to go over the entries. We're going to go over a kind of a tentative schedule, the venue, some rule updates, uniform reminders, rating plan, and so on. So like I said, we're going to try to get through this as quickly as possible so that we don't take up too much of your time on this Tuesday evening. But thank you guys for joining us tonight. Typically, I have a moderator. I will be on my own tonight because I am doing this remotely from Mount St. Mary's. We just got done our Fall Fest, one of our volunteer orientations. So bear with me if you guys raise your hand or type in a question. I will get to it, I promise. But please still use those tools, as I will keep an eye out for those as much as I can. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So as you guys all know, the different events that we offer are 7v7 traditional, unified, and player development unified, or PDU. We have a total of 23 teams in those three categories. We have 5v5 unified teams. Those consist of elementary and middle school teams. We had the required qualifier this past weekend. It was a great competition. We also have individual skills competition. Currently, we have about 38 registrants for that, and that's always a great event to watch in between your games, so you have a chance. That will be inside, so you should go ahead and take a look at that. Some just important information. So this Monday night, October 21st, we will have a few of our coaches and our officials coordinator, Bob Lyles, come into the SOMD office. Thank you for those that signed up on the webinar, on the SurveyMonkey, that you were interested in joining. Unfortunately, we couldn't take everyone, so these are those that were selected to attend that. If you have questions, please go ahead and give me a call or email, and I can talk you through all of that stuff. But this year we'll have Emily Golden, who is a Montgomery County traditional coach, John McDonough, who is a Howard County unified coach. As I mentioned, Bob Lyles, our head official/officials coordinator, and Frank DeSanti, who is a Anne Arundel's traditional coach. That group and I will be meeting on Monday night at the SOMD office to make the final divisions, and I will have those final divisions and schedule sent out no later than Thursday, the 24th. I'm hoping to get that out sooner, but it will get to you no later than the 24th. So please be patient with me on that. I promise once I have it done, I will get it out to you guys. So just kind of keep an eye out for that, but bear with me because you might not get it till Thursday, okay? Tentative schedule at 7:30, we'll have the volunteer registration. That's when all of our volunteers from Salisbury University will come in and get their trainings and orientation and all that stuff. 8 a.m. is when delegation registration will start. If you get there before 8 a.m., please wait until 8 a.m. to try to check in. We will have it in the front of Crown Sports Center inside, right next to volunteer orientation, at that little table kiosk in the desk right up front by the front doors, where it has been the last couple of years. So it will be right over there, right next to the bathrooms. So when you get there, please go to that front and make sure you check your team in. At 8:30, we will have our head coaches meeting. We will meet inside, and when I get to the slide of the indoor center, I will show you exactly where that meeting is going to be, but we will do it inside on that second indoor field where we had it last year. Having it inside just makes it a little more easier because we're going to go straight to opening ceremonies from that. At 9 o'clock is going to be opening ceremonies, which again, I just mentioned is going to be inside on that blue sport court, so that we can have it all inside. It might be a little nippy outside, a little chilly, so we can have nice weather. No, we have a meeting no matter what the weather. 10 a.m. the competition is going to start. So all games will start at 10 a.m. On the indoor/outdoor fields. Individual skills will be indoor, and currently all other games are planned to be outside. Depending on weather, as it has been in the past, we'll make that decision on if certain games are going to be inside or if everyone's going to be outside. So I will keep you all up to date on all of that information as the week goes on next week. This is just a venue map, an overview of the Crown Sports Center. Parking, as you guys know, it is very tight in the back. There's not too many spaces. That gets filled up pretty quickly, but there is a lot of parking on the sides and in the front of the building. You just walk through the main building and you're right to the back competition area. Lunch tent and control center will be right outside, as it always is, in the big tent. The closest to the field, which is the top right-hand corner of the screen, will be the competition areas, the 7v7 fields. It's 7v7 traditional and unified. And the bottom right-hand corner where it says competition area, that is going to be the 5-on-5 and 7v7 player development fields. So those two fields will be on that side. The rest, 7v7 traditional and unified, will be on the top corner, top right-hand side of the page. Individual skills, as I mentioned, is going to be inside, as well as volunteer registration. And young athletes is not going to be there this year. I apologize. I did not take that off. But young athletes won't be here this year. And we will have opening and awards. All awards are going to be inside, as it has in the past. Having it in one location makes it a little bit easier for you guys and for the volunteers. And it helps us to keep our schedule on time so that the games can kind of go off as scheduled. This is just another venue map with the field line out. So we'll have the white field, the green field, the red field, and the yellow field. They are going to be the 5-on-5 traditional and the 7v7 traditional and unified games. And then the blue and purple field will be the 5-on-5 unified and the 7v7 player development. So if you're in 7v7 traditional or unified, you will be on one of the larger fields, white, green, yellow, or red. And 5v5 and 7v7 player development, as I mentioned, are going to be on the blue and purple fields. We will have porta pots all around, as always. They're getting delivered Friday. I will make sure I lock them up on Friday morning once they're delivered, so that the teams on Saturday that come for the soccer games at Crown, which is not ours, on Saturday, they do not use them, so they will be clean for you guys on Sunday, so you don't have to worry about that at all. So I'll make sure they get locked up Friday before I leave with all the deliveries. Okay, so inside field, you can see that little circle by where it says main entrance and restrooms. That is where coaches check-in is going to be. We will have someone sitting up there so that you can check in with them and get your packets first thing in the morning. The volunteer registration field is going to, that's where all of our day of volunteers are going to check in and hang out until the opening ceremony starts. Inclement field, the field right on the other side of that, right next to the arcade and laser tag, that field is going to be where the coaches meeting is. So we will meet right in there at 8:30 for our coaches meeting. It'll be a quick 10-15-minute meeting. Just go over a few things that I need to before we go over to opening ceremonies, which is where awards is going to be on that blue sport court. Individual skills are on the back two fields, as always. And if by possibility that we need to, as we have in the past, 2 years ago, we did make it work to have all the games inside, so we know it can happen. All the fields will be used in that case for the games and / individual skills will get moved to moved inside if needed. So we also have something new this year. We have performance stations. This is something new that we are going to offer that I learned more about at the conference I was just at last week in Minnesota. I'm working with Jeff Abel who came up with this idea or this plan, working with Special Olympics International. We're going to have a hydration station, nutrition station, game day mind, physical fitness, and competition readiness. So this is something that you guys can take your athletes to before the games, after your games, or if you have a gap in between your games, take them on inside. It'll be warm. It's going to be where the volunteer registration is, as long as all the games are outside. But this is something that we're going to try out, and I think it'll be really good for you and your athletes to go through. Like I said, they talk about there's going to be these 5 different stations where the athletes can learn a lot of really useful things to help make their performance even better. So please, if you can, remind your athletes to go to these stations and take advantage of this, something new that we are starting this year, which I'm really excited about, and I think it's going to be a really good thing for the athletes to, is like I said, it's just something that you can do in between the games and help give the athletes different tips and stuff like that to help improve their athletic skills. So I'm not going to read through this. Principle of media involvement. Pretty much, guys, you guys know, you guys do a really great job of this. It's pretty much stating that we want everyone to make sure that they have a meaningful role on the team. And a meaningful role is not sitting and cheering for the team. It's being involved in the game, having that meaningful role, not saying that they have to score all the points, but not having 1 or 2 of your best players dominating the game. You want to make sure it's a great experience for all of your athletes. So if we see this, the first violation is going to be given to you guys as coaches, will be a verbal warning. The next one will be you were shown a yellow card. After that, a second yellow card, and then a red card. And the player violation will be shown a yellow card. Okay, so we don't want to do that. We don't want to give you guys yellow cards or red cards, but we want to make sure everyone has a great and meaningful experience while at the event. So playing for 2 minutes because you're losing and they might not be the best player on your team, that's not a meaningful experience. Make sure that everyone has that meaningful experience. And you guys really do a great job from what I've seen with this, but it is something that I just wanted to mention. Just going over this, I know we only have the 3 player development teams, but I wanted to go over this anyway. It's that transitional level between individual skills and team play. So what it is pretty much helping teach those athletes that just moved up from skills that are in the adult age group to play 7v7 soccer. So it's 5 athletes are on the field at a time, and 2 what we call mentors. And mentors are like coaches on the field. They can't play, they can't score, they can't facilitate. They are just coaches. They're not like unified partners on a unified team, where a unified partner is allowed to do everything an athlete can do. The mentors are really just directing and facilitating the game to help teach those athletes how to play and where to move and how to move in a game-like situation. One thing I did want to mention, and a lot of these things are kind of subjective, but athletes cannot just pass the ball to the mentors. They have to receive it naturally. So if they're sitting off to the side and their athlete kicks it and it bounces off someone and it goes to them, they're allowed to keep it in play. If there's an athlete around them, they need to let the athlete get it. It's pretty much making sure that the athletes on the field are learning the game and having that experience playing the game of soccer. Like I mentioned, they can't play defense, they can't block shots, they can't intercept a pass, they can't shoo away anyone, they can't control the game or the ball. One thing I would really like to mention is if you have mentors on the field, don't have them run to the ball, have them point and tell the athlete where to go. Don't have them run next to it, because it does kind of scare away or shy away other athletes from the other team because they see the mentor there, so they don't think that they can go near it. Try to do it more talking instead of physical movement if possible. All players, mentors, unified partners, or athletes must wear shin guards at all times when playing the game. And that's every single person that is competing in the soccer event this weekend must have shin guards on. Shoes having soft and yielding cleats, there's no metal cleats are permitted. And if they wear cleats, they can only wear them outside. If we do move the games inside, then they cannot wear cleats because we don't want to tear up their Crown Sports Center's fields. They are great with us, and we don't want to do anything to jeopardize that relationship with them. All jewelry must be removed before competition. This is a huge thing. I've been to almost every competition this season, and every single one, either myself or the officials, remind athletes and remind you guys to have the athletes and partners take off their jewelry. That is rings, earrings, bracelets, necklaces. Don't have them try to hide it. If you see them try to hide their necklace or hide a bracelet, they must take it off. They cannot just keep it on. It's more of a safety hazard for themselves and other players on the field. So please, please, please make sure they take off all jewelry before competition. Players must be properly attired to compete. This means because it is at the end of October, it is going to be a little chilly. They can wear something underneath their jersey. Their shorts and their jersey top must be on the outside of the long pants and long sleeve shirts. Must be on the outside. With that said, if they wear anything underneath their jersey, they must match the uniform and they must match everyone else that's wearing something. So if my team has a game and our jerseys are, say, green, I cannot come in a pink undershirt or pink leggings or anything like that. It must match the uniform, and I must match everyone else on my team that is wearing something. Just because one person wears something does not mean that everyone else on the team has to wear anything underneath. They don't have to, but it has to be underneath the jersey, and it all has to match. If I see someone with a green undershirt and a black undershirt and a white undershirt, you as a coach are going to pick one of the three, and they have to pick that one color. And if they don't, then they have to take it off, and they're not going to play until they're in complete full uniform and either not wearing something underneath or wearing the same color that was selected. Okay, so please, please, please make sure your athletes know this and you are working to help me with this, because we will not let them play if that is the case. We want them to match. We're allowing them to wear something underneath, but please, please, please make sure it does match the uniform and that everyone matches each other that is wearing something underneath. Okay, I'm not going to go through these, but big thing, no jeans. I don't think that's been an issue this year, but I just want to say it. No jeans, no denim, nothing. And as I mentioned, various colors are allowed, but it has to match their uniform, and they must match everyone on the team. So you can wear a variety of colors as long as everyone matches. Rosters were submitted and as part of the team assessment and cannot be changed. You guys do this from the beginning of September. Nothing can be changed at that point. 77 player development. Teams must have 7 players on the field at all times. 2 mentors and 5 athletes. Okay, that is only the people on that register that are, on the roster that are registered mentors and athletes are allowed on the field. 7v7 teams must start the game with 7 players. Okay, you can reduce to fewer if it's deemed safe by myself and my committee. Unified must play with no more than 4 athletes and 3 mentors at all times. So you have to start the game with 3 unified partners and 4 athletes on the field at a time. If an athlete gets hurt, then you can go down to 3 and 3, but you cannot go down any more. You cannot have more unified partners on the field than athletes. and you cannot have more than 4 athletes on the field at a time. Okay. 5v5 teams must start each game with 5 players on the field, and you may reduce to no fewer than 4 on the field if it's deemed safe by myself and my committee. With 5v5 unified, 2 unified partners, 3 athletes all time, not 4 and 1, not 2 and 2. We got to keep it safe for the athletes. So just for updates and rule reminders, 7v7, you can kick in or throw in from the sideline. You guys will be playing 7v7 traditional and unified teams, sorry. You'll be playing 2 20-minute halves. If needed, I will make that change, but as of right now, we're going with 2 20-minute halves with a 5-minute halftime and a 5-minute overtime if needed. Okay, 5v5 teams and 7v7 player development. You can only kick in from the sideline. There's no throw in. You will be playing 2 15-minute halves. Competition, myself and my committee can change if needed. You have a 5-minute halftime and a 5-minute overtime if needed. Okay, so for the most part, 7v7 traditional and unified are going to play 2 20-minute halves. 5v5 unified and 7v7 PDU teams will be playing 2 15-minute halves. Okay, I'm not going to go through all of these, but please make sure you read through them. No slide tackles are permitted at any level. So please make sure your athletes aren't doing this. I haven't seen any, but you never know. In the state competition, tensions are rising. Oh, we have a question. Brendan, you are self-muted, so once you unmute yourself, you can go ahead and talk.
Yeah, never mind. Sorry.
Okay. Thanks. All right, so we'll go ahead and keep going. There is no heading at all. We've worked this out with my sports management team and come to the conclusion no heading is not safe for the athletes, especially if they have a traumatic brain injury. Heading the ball, obviously not safe. And our officials will make that call and possibly ask you to take out a player if they continue to purposely try to head the ball. There are no team timeouts. The official game time is kept by the referee, not by the scores table. So please don't go up and yell at the scorekeepers asking about the time. The official time is going to be with the referees. Okay. We will have the time kept at the score table, but it will only be an estimate. So if it's the wrong thing or the wrong time or a different time, then it is only an estimate. So weather plan. As of right now, it says likely rain, but it's very, very little rain. As you can see, it's 0.08 inches of rain scheduled for this day. I got this yesterday from our paid weather service, Weather Century. And currently, when I'm looking it up right now, it's saying 63 degrees and partly sunny. Partly cloudy. And so it doesn't say anything about rain. There's a little bit of rain on Saturday, but that shouldn't affect us too much because there's not a lot of rain. So we should be good to go for outside as of right now. So we'll hopefully keep that in mind or keep that together. And fingers crossed that the weather stays like that because I like 63 and sunny. So I will, and just so you guys know this, but I will keep an eye out on the weather. You guys don't need to email me and saying, have you looked at the weather? I will be checking the weather. I promise. I will keep a good eye out on the weather and keep you guys updated as best I can. Coach's Code of Conduct. Again, you guys are really great about this, but it's just something that I want to mention. Respect for all. That's an easy one. You guys know our officials, our volunteers, what they call is their call. Don't come to me and say you don't agree with the call and you want it changed. I'm not changing any of their calls. What they see is what they're calling. Okay, they're great officials. They know what they're doing. So you guys have really done a great job of it. I haven't had any issues with this, but as I said, I just wanted to, bring it up just because. Ensure a positive experience for all. again, you guys usually do a great job at this. Just make sure everyone on your team is having a good time and everyone is having that meaningful involvement. Act professionally, no excessive yelling. It kind of goes without saying. Soccer, I understand it can get very competitive, very heated. Just act professionally. Don't go crazy yelling at your team or your other team or the other coaches or the officials or anything like that. No profanity. If I catch it, then I will say something to you, and that'll be your one and only warning. Special Olympics is no profanity, okay? No alcohol, tobacco, or vape. No drug use during the event. If you do want to smoke, then you need to leave the premises. You can't smoke on Crown Sports Center's premises, so please, please, please do not smoke around our event. Special Olympics is a alcohol and smoke-free and drug-free event. So kind of just keep that in mind. If we see any of that, we will ask you to go somewhere else. And that is it. So if you have any questions, these are the three sports directors that we have. Myself, Zach Cintron, and Ryan Kelchner. Those are the sports that we have coming up in the winter, right after soccer is over. So if you have questions about any of those sports, those are who you contact. And if you forget after this webinar, you need to know who to contact. You can reach out to your area director, or you can just reach out to me and I can tell you who to contact. That's not a problem at all. And again, I just want to thank you guys so much for all that you do. You guys are really great. I've had a great time working with each and every one of you this soccer season. You guys really are an amazing group of people, and without you, we definitely couldn't do what we do in putting on these events. So a huge, huge thank you from everyone at Special Olympics Maryland, and I look forward to seeing you guys next weekend. But at this time, are there any questions? Anyone raise their hand or type in a question that you guys had? I know I went through this stuff pretty quickly. I will send out this recording and the slides within the next 48 hours. And again, I'll send out the schedule by the latest next Thursday, the 24th. So I'll get another minute if anyone has any questions. No. Oh. Go ahead, Mrs. Strada. You are unmuted. Hello? No. So we just got a question typed in. For the hat rule, is soft-sided hats okay? Yes, I will allow beanies and soft-sided hats as long as they don't have the bill. No baseball hats, nothing that pokes out from the hat. It has to be like a beanie type hat, and like a soft winter knit cap is fine. Like I said, it's supposed to be pretty chilly, so if your athletes want to wear that, that's fine, as long as there is no hard pieces or like a bill of a baseball hat sticking out from it. Okay, so that looks like it. If you guys come up with any question, blue uniform is white long sleeve under. Yes, that is fine. White long sleeve shirt is okay as long as everyone on the team is wearing white. That's 100% fine. So the ball be kicked behind the line at the start of the game instead of going forward. Yes, I believe so. Mike, are you on? You still on? I believe the new FIFA rules.
I'm sorry, what was the question?
Can the ball be kicked behind the line at the start of the game instead of going forward? I
No.
believe with the new FIFA
No.
rules, you can do that.
I think the Special Olympics rules supersede that, and it indicates no, that it must go forward. I'd have to check that to be sure.
Okay, yeah, and what I'll do is I'll follow up with our head official, and
yeah.
thank
Now
you,
that said, when we say go forward, it doesn't mean it has to be directionally straight forward. It can go forward to the side. I know when I've coached my athletes, we try to get them to go off at a somewhat of a sharp angle with the ball to one of their players to the side of them, but it's still going forward as opposed to pulling back.
So at USA Games, I just thank you to Emily Golden for sending this out. The rule changed at USA Games, and you can kick backwards. But everyone, I'll confirm with Bob Lyles, our head official, and when I send out these slides, I'll let you guys know. So I will get back to you guys on that question. Don't worry. All right. If that is it, I will say thank you guys again. And I hope you guys have a great night. I'll see some of you guys on Saturday, and the rest of you I'll see next Sunday in Salisbury.